This is Tromsø in northern Norway. Tromsø is the biggest city in Norway's Arctic region, and it is absolutely jam-packed with things to see and do, whether you visit in the summer or in the winter, or even in September, like I am right now on this glorious sunny day. Tromsø is somewhere I love to come again and again and again. As I said, there's so much to see and do. I'm going to show you all about it in this video. But first of all, let's put Tromsø on a map so you can truly appreciate where we are in the world.
Tromsø is the largest city in the vast region of northern Norway. It's about a 6-hour drive from Alta and slightly more from Svolvær in the Lofoten Islands. Most of the city of almost 80,000 people is located on an island, as you can see on this map, and from this perspective at the top of the cable car looking down on the city. We'll be right back here later. Just before we get started, please do check out lifeinnorway.net for more on Tromsø, the Arctic region, and all things Norway in English. Now, let's take a look at the best things to do in Tromsø. Let's start in the downtown area by the waterfront. This is where most hotels are, along with the terminal for the coastal ferry and most cruise ships. From here, you can take in the view across the water to the mainland, which includes the cable car and Arctic Cathedral, both of which I'll come on to shortly. Tromsø Bridge links Tromsø Island to the mainland, and although it might not look it, it's a relatively easy walk across. By the way, I filmed this footage just a couple of minutes to midnight in the summer. Yes, the sun really doesn't set for a few weeks every summer, although as you can see it does get fairly low in the sky around midnight. From the waterfront, it's just a short walk to Tromsø's high street, Storgata, where many shops and restaurants are. One highlight here is Tromsø Cathedral, and that's not the Arctic Cathedral, which I'll come on to later. Tromsø Cathedral in the heart of the city is one of the largest wooden churches in Scandinavia, and it's well worth taking a look inside if the building is open when you visit. Its opening hours do seem a little irregular though. Before moving on to the main street, check out the Sami shop right opposite the cathedral. From the outside, it does look like a somewhat tacky souvenir shop, but it's actually my favourite souvenir shop in the city. It's packed with arts and crafts based on the traditions of the indigenous Sami people of northern Norway. If what you want is polar bear t-shirts and mugs with Northern Lights designs on, you'll find all of that and more on the high street Storgata. In the summer, there's a city train sightseeing trip that starts from here. While souvenir shopping, don't miss Sweetheart, another favourite of mine, which of course is a sweet shop. Tromsø surprises many visitors with its international flavour. Storgata is home to a Burger King and now the world's northernmost McDonald's, a relatively recent arrival in the city. And just off this street, you'll find the eye-catching Tromsø Library. Its striking glass front, inspired by the nearby mountains, floods the interior with natural light, creating a warm and welcoming space. It's a place I often head to if I'm in Tromsø and I need to get any work done. A few steps further down Storgata and you come to the Culture House, located on the town square. This square is a lively place in the summer and often hosts market stalls and other live events. Also, don't miss this kiosk, somewhere that Tromsø claims is the world's smallest bar. Back at the waterfront, it is a lively place to be, summer or winter, with hotels, cafes and restaurants. The area is still an active harbour and there's a lot of boat and rib tours that leave from here, many of which you can book on the day. But now let's cross Tromsø Bridge, that you can see in the background here, and head on over to the Arctic Cathedral and the Cable Car, two of Tromsø's biggest tourist attractions. It's impossible to miss the Arctic Cathedral, especially if you arrive in Tromsø by ship. A short trip over the bridge by local bus or a slightly longer walk brings you to this landmark building. The striking site seems to be modern architecture, but it was actually built in 1965. This truly unique building is actually a parish church. The name Arctic Cathedral is just a clever marketing ploy, but it's a site to tick off nevertheless. Personally, I think the architecture of the exterior of the building is more interesting than going inside, but if you want to pay the fee to enter, by all means do so. Evening concerts here in the summer are popular. Among all the attractions in Tromsø, I'd say a trip on Fjellheisen, the city's cable car, is the absolute highlight, as long as it's a clear day, of course. This cable car journey transports visitors to the summit of a nearby mountain, presenting an awesome panorama from more than 400 meters above sea level. The viewing platform at the summit offers an unbeatable view of Tromsø, showing off the town and the island against the fjord and the rugged mountains. This experience is one to enjoy year-round, whether under the midnight sun of summer or the eerie glow of winter. Summer visitors will find the mountain's summit an ideal starting point for hikes, with trails winding through wonderful scenery. Meanwhile, the winter in Tromsø transforms the mountain into a snowy wonderland. After enjoying the spectacular views, guests can retreat to the warmth of the on-site cafe and restaurant, making it a perfect winter outing, weather permitting of course. For those seeking something more active, the trek up the mountain presents a rewarding challenge. The construction of the Sherpa stone staircase has made this journey much more accessible, yet the ascent of more than 1,200 steps still demands endurance. Of course, you could always take the cable car up and walk down if you prefer. One popular time to be at the top of the mountain is in the winter, when it's possible to see the Northern Lights. Northern Norway is one of the best places on Earth to see the aurora, and Tromsø tops the list of aurora hunting locations in Norway. It was where I first saw the Northern Lights way back in September 2013. There are so many tours to choose from, some by boat, some by bus, some combined with reindeer visits or even dog sledding. Some visit a specific location, while others will head to the place with the best possible conditions for Northern Lights displays on the specific night. But you can also see the Northern Lights from the city itself. Because of the city lights though, it will need to be strong aurora for you to see them clearly. The best times I've seen the Northern Lights have always been on a cruise, sometimes while docked in port in Tromsø, and other times while sailing away somewhere off the northern coastline. The Northern Lights have helped Tromsø to become a popular year-round cruise port in Norway. I've been on many cruises that call into Tromsø at all different times of the year, together with the Norwegian coastal voyage on both Hurtigruten and Havila. However you're travelling, Tromsø is always a highlight of any trip by sea. On a recent cruise, I joined a Roald Amundsen-themed history walking tour of Tromsø to delve into the story of this Arctic city. The Norwegian polar explorer Roald Amundsen, who famously led the first expedition to the South Pole, had strong ties to Tromsø. The city served as a key departure point for several of his Arctic adventures, and his legacy is visible everywhere, from statues to vibrant murals celebrating his achievements. The highlight of the walking tour was the Polar Museum, housed in a historic 19th century customs warehouse by the waterfront. This small but interesting museum showcases Tromsø's pivotal role in Arctic exploration and the hunting era, with detailed exhibits on Amundsen's daring expeditions, traditional polar gear, and life in the extreme north. Something else Tromsø is famous for is being home to the world's northernmost top-flight football club. I've been to several matches at the city's small stadium, although I'm yet to see my team win there. The stadium is a short but steep walk from the city centre, and as you can see, I also paid a visit in the winter just to take a look. If you're interested in going to a game, then check the club website for information on upcoming matches and to buy tickets, or just to see if the club shop will be open during your visit. While you're in Tromsø, it's well worth exploring the island outside of the city centre. In particular, the beach and park at Telegraph Bay at the southern end of the island is incredible on a sunny day. You seriously won't believe you're in the Arctic Circle. This is a very popular spot for locals, and one of northern Norway's biggest music festivals is held here every summer. Visitors will also find a memorial here to the victims of the 1928 disaster of the airship Italia, and the rescuers who died trying to save them. On the other side of the city centre is the University of Tromsø. Here you'll find a geology walk, which leads through the forest to the Botanical Gardens, featuring Arctic and alpine plants from around the world, including species from as far away as Tibet and the Falkland Islands. Open year-round and free to visit, the gardens transform with the seasons. The best time to visit is for the vibrant blooms between May and September. Back at the port, I must mention Magic Ice, packed with remarkable ice sculptures. Yes, it is a bit of an overpriced tourist trap, but it is a fun experience nevertheless. While Tromsø makes for a fantastic city break, the true magic lies beyond the city itself. It's a gateway to experiencing Norway's stunning nature, whether in summer or winter. I already mentioned Northern Lights tours, but don't miss out on whale watching, fjord photography tours, dog sledding, or visiting Sami families to learn about their culture. To make the most of your time, head to the Visit Tromsø website before your trip to explore the wide range of activities and find the perfect adventure for you. As you'll have seen, many of my trips to Tromsø took place in the winter. One of my most memorable was on the Norwegian coastal ferry in early February. Check out this video next to see the full story of my 11-night voyage on the Havila Polaris, including 2 stops in Tromsø and so much more. I hope you have a great trip to Tromsø, and as always, thanks for watching.